welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the smoothest, the suavest, the most sophisticated SmarkFest programming you have ever heard right here on the U of Tubes. That's right, it is the Court Martial Podcast. I am your Colonial champion, Sean McCarty, keeping a low tone because I'm going to be yelling a lot later. And by my side, as always, the one who shucks and jives when he comes to thrive for those nickels and dimes. And I'm not talking about spare change, my friends. It's the man of the hour, the man of the power, too sweet to be sour, the Bay Area brawler himself, Skyler Greenberg. How you doing, my man?
Just because, as a Jew, if you throw a nickel on the ground, that does not mean I have to scramble over it and pick it up.
I wasn't talking about spare change. I already said that. You talked about spare change.
10 seconds in, we're already pulling the race card. Continue.
Well, and the man to call it out, of course, we cannot do it alone. It's a three-man booth today, and I hope he screams real loud because he's sounding real quiet out there in the cave where he's been picking the bones of weeks-old elves, is the man running the other portion of this podcast on TAW Gaming, the one and only, the legendary JoshAgeddon.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Totally Awesome Podcast. Podcast so bad, kind of like this show, it'll make you tap out. I am also the owner and proprietor of South Carolina Championship Grassling.
Damn right, Skip.
Oh, Lord.
And we've got a review for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
In a big old chug-a-lug of water, because it's gonna be a slog. It's somehow.
You can tell by the three of us that our enthusiasm for this show was a near zero. You know what I was doing while I was watching this show?
What were you doing, Sky?
I was simultaneously watching a preseason NHL game, actually two preseason NHL games, Sunday Night Football, and booking my own wrestling company because I could give two shits about Extreme Rules.
That's right, folks. Preseason hockey beating out Extreme Rules. That's pretty rough. Josh, again, you see, in sports, there's an actual season where they play 82 games, and then there's like a few games that mean even less beforehand. Josh, again, doesn't sports.
I really don't.
So
that's wrestling, soccer, and dick pulling.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
well,
pretty much
unfortunately, there was no dick pulling on this night.
It would have made it better, honestly.
Well, it honestly could have made it better because this was something that you did not want to take in raw or dry. Gentlemen, what is your thoughts overall on the show? We'll start with you, Josh, again.
Okay, so I'm not even going to lie. I did not sleep good last night, so I'm not going to be my normal high-energy self. I'm going to be more downtrodden and defeated because that's how this show left me. I thought,
Agreed.
For the most part, I thought this show was boring. And the finish of the last two matches, especially the main event. Why do I like pro wrestling? Just I'm sad. My own interests sadden me.
It's hard to find a good reason on this show. I mean, and Sky, would you not concur? There's nothing here yet I've heard that has not been the absolute truth.
I actually think that of the three of us, I'm probably the one that liked the show the most.
That
and even then, I used the show as background noise while I was booking my company. In all honesty, shows like these make me want to go back on the network, back when we had the network, and watch a real wrestling show like TakeOver New Orleans and all of its perfection.
Well, don't worry, Skyler. NXT 2.0 will save the day.
Oh, of course it will.
No.
Of course it will.
Speaking of which, speaking of the bright colors, right off the bat, the logo of this show irritates me. Remember, like, several years ago when they had the Extreme Rules logo, when it was red and white, and it actually looked somewhat cool, like, oh, this is going to be a dangerous show. They changed it to purple and neon green, and I hate it.
I mean, the Joker was purple and neon green. Do you hate the Joker?
Well, the Joker also changed his suit to red, so...
Well,
the Joker was entertaining, and... Whatever.
At least the Joker got to shoot a guy in the head.
Well, I suppose, if that's what... Well, alone would be more extreme than anything on this Extreme Rules.
Dude, watching this show, I wish someone pulled a gun and shot me in the forehead so I wouldn't have to watch the main event. This show sucked.
Well, this show, top to bottom, this
in my suffering.
One of the worst shows I think I've seen WWE do in a really long time. Did either of you watch the pre-show? I'm going to tell by that wheeze that was a no.
I think, Sean, me and you have been reviewing wrestling shows for years now. I don't think I've ever sounded more depressed than this episode.
Yeah, this one was pretty bad.
It was boring. It was just boring.
I watched bits and pieces of the pre-show. Did you watch it at all?
No. I watched this actually earlier today at the time of recording, which is actually the same day that you just saw the previous episode of the Court Martial podcast, which is what I was doing during the first 3 matches of this program.
Not even joking, the three of us, if I was in a coma, I could book better shows than this. If Skyler was high and was blindfolded and had both of his hands tied behind his back, he could book a show better than this. If Sean was, I don't know, dead and came back as a zombie, he could also book shows better than this.
Whatever.
I just don't want any of what you just described on my wrestling show.
This show almost put me in a coma.
I don't want any comas. Well, okay, maybe a coma, but not many comas.
So, I'm the only one that watched the pre-show, kind of, right?
Yeah.
So what did you kind of ascertain happened on said almost pre-show?
Enlighten us, Skyler.
Liv Morgan versus Carmella.
Alright.
So let me just get into this, okay?
Please do.
I made the joke in our group chat, and I'll make the joke here again. Liv Morgan and Carmella dress like 2 strippers that you hire to wrestle each other in front of the boys at a bachelor party.
Yeah.
And the wrestling was about as good as that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's be clear, okay?
Morgan's eye dangles. What was with there? Like somebody bedazzled her face.
Okay, honestly,
Oscar Green Eye thing.
Honestly, Carmella's promo talking about "I'm hotter than you are" because of Liv Morgan's face bedazzling. She was not lying.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the face bedazzling immediately makes Liv Morgan a heel.
Okay. Fair enough, Joshua. But to everyone else who was normal, aka stupid.
And to the normal people, this is my opinion. No, go ahead, Scott. That was
to the normal people, aka the stupid people.
I wanted to strangle everyone in this crowd during the show, by the way.
Yeah, which I will say this: the crowd, at least they were a good crowd.
We want tables. We want every freaking match.
Okay. Can I get this pre-show match out of the way so we can get to the main show?
No.
Yes.
Okay, fine, whatever. The thing is that Liv Morgan, at least the people like her. It's superficial because all they really like is her looks and the fact that she's a likable person, which she is in real life, but she's not a good wrestler. At least not yet. Maybe in the future she could develop. It's kind of like the Carmella thing where you can tell that neither of them are naturals, but at least Carmella, when she's in the ring now, she doesn't look as bad as she used to. I don't know. Like, Liv Morgan is 27. She has time to develop, but you can tell that people like her, they need years of grinding in wrestling matches in order to get experience so they don't look as bad as they do.
Remember when...
Well, to follow along with your jokes, Guy, the years of grinding, that's what she looked like when she was entering the ring. I guess her and Carmella, so maybe they do. But that doesn't help their pro wrestling. And I just was not interested in this whatsoever. I had bigger fish to fry, and I'm not surprised that this wasn't much entertainment. Are we ever going to get a match on a pre-show or a buy-in that is going to ever be like actually worth watching to come and actually, hey, maybe you should buy this program instead of, oh, here's our like garbage match before our main show garbage matches.
I'm surprised that we've
the Usos Money in the Bank 2013.
I'm surprised that we have gone several pay-per-views in a row without having the U.S. title on the pre-show.
Well, that's because the current U.S. title holder is actually good. But before we get to that, hold on. Let me just say something. If we had 6 more women that were like Carmella in this division, it would be so much better. And that's not saying much because Carmella at this point is a mid-card heel wrestler, but at least she's decent. Like, she carried the match as best she could. It's just one of those things where I'm not excited by Liv Morgan whenever she's on offense. She's a great seller, but she can't hit anything worth a damn.
Yeah.
How do you think Liv Morgan feels knowing that Ruby So What is main eventing and Liv Morgan is being Liv Morgan on the pre-show?
But the argument is that Liv Morgan's a better wrestler, okay? At least Liv Morgan, when she hits her moves, even if they are awkward, it's not dangerous. Like, Ruby is dangerous to herself and other people when she wrestles.
Yeah.
Because her botches are so horrendous that she's either out of place and gets hit really hard, or she's too stiff in places. At least Liv Morgan's offense is safe. She's a safe wrestler. She's just not a high-ceiling wrestler. I don't know.
Can I just say, as the one of the three of us that does not hate AEW, can I just say fuck AEW for
AEW?
Well, let me just say, of the most supportive of them, of the three of us, I guess you could say.
Okay, all right, fair enough. That's fair enough.
Fuck them for bringing Ruby in and then giving her a title match. Just why?
Well, you know she's going to lose that title match, and then she's not going to do anything.
I wish that she would find a new profession. Like, is that show? What's that show? What's that show where people come in and they do tattoos?
Ink Master.
Ink Master. Why she should go apply at Ink Master? That's where she belongs.
She would botch it and tattoo someone's eyeball.
But she wouldn't be on a wrestling show that I'm currently trying to watch.
Yes, but then she would actually kill someone. It may actually be safer for her to wrestle people than to be a tattoo artist, because she was a tattoo artist. She was for the safety and the reputation of the tattoo industry, Ruby Riott has to continue wrestling.
And now, and all of what we have just described is all still more extreme than this pay-per-view, which we began with a 6-man tag match on pay-per-view because we needed to get Big E on the show. And
well, this was hold on. This is the Jim Cornette tribute, the 6-man tag.
Because every single wrestling promotion, including ACPW and NWL, have said happy birthday Jim Cornette throughout the month by giving him non-stop 6-man tags, just the way that he would like it. And it's the New Day versus AJ Styles, Omos, and Bobby Lashley.
You know what I love? I love that our new WWE champion, Big E, comes out dancing with the goofy New Day music, and when he's on offense, he does the hip swivel with his tongue out over his opponent. That is our WWE champion. Don't you just love taking him seriously?
And he didn't even mention in that intro that he was the world champ. He's just like, here's your world famous New Day, and feel the power. Like, you're the world goddamn champion. If there's ever one time to mention it, it's right there. It's like, bro, what are you doing? And
I mean, to be fair, he mentioned it when he did his first appearance on SmackDown with the title, so I'm not that angry about it.
But that's SmackDown. Well, this is allegedly a pay-per-view.
Can we also mention that even before this match started, Kevin Dunn was fucking up these camera cuts and bringing them way too fast and getting into the audience who were just not excited to get this show going.
Especially during the beginning of the match when Bobby Lashley was in there were several times where he was cutting someone. I legitimately could not tell what was going on.
And I don't know whether you caught this. By the way, MVP not being there, I know he's hurt, but MVP not being there really does hurt Bobby's image.
Yeah.
It diminishes him just ever so slightly, I noticed.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's a good presence, but he needs someone to play off of.
But Sean, he can cut an angry promo where he calls a guy a chicken shit.
Hey, I was proud of him. Keep that.
And that's fine and all, but you don't have the inflection of doing multiple promos. Plus, it helps having someone to play off of on ringside.
I'm so sick and tired of companies using swear words to pop the crowd because, oh, it's so edgy. It's a swear word. Who cares?
I mean, I was happy that if anyone who was going to say it, it came out of Bobby. I mean, better than it just being like...
Xavier Woods. Imagine Xavier Woods swearing.
Oh, God. Don't even get me started on Xavier Woods.
To do something we'll talk about here in just a minute. Did anyone catch Jimmy Smith's comment about the draft, which they would not shut up about for the first 40 minutes of this program?
And would not stop putting advertisements on throughout the show.
But Jimmy Smith is like, oh, well, the New Day, with the draft, the New Day may be separated, and they're good, and they're such a tight unit. They've always been such a tight unit, but they could just be separated. I'm like, Jimmy, it was what? 6 months ago that they were separated for the first time? Like, this just happened to them. They're good. Like,
John, a year.
Oh,
wow.
1 year.
Wow.
But I was like, guys, come on. This was... And then, what was your overall of this match? I didn't really care for it.
I didn't either. I was just like, this feels like a Monday Night Raw or a Friday Night SmackDown match. This was... Just exhale. That was my thoughts on this match.
I feel like you guys are going to hate me because I like this show more than you guys did. I thought this was a good opening way to start the show. I don't love it. Let's be clear. I didn't love it because it's a six-man tag. What are you going to get from it? But I thought it was a good way to start the show.
Well, you could have gotten more out of it than you did get out of it.
That's true. That's true.
And we will talk about here in a second because I kind of have a solution to this match, but we're just going to break this down a little bit. AJ was the result of some very weird, blocks, and I don't know if they were botches, but even just awkward positioning all match. There was that weird-ass chop block that Kofi kind of half-sold. That was very weird.
Yeah.
Bobby... There's something I noticed, and this is something not necessarily Bobby's fault, but I've noticed this a lot with big guys in WWE. So Bobby throws, I think it was Kofi into the corner, and then walks away from the turnbuckle that he just put him in the corner with all the way to the other one real slow, and then runs in like he doesn't expect that Kofi's going to be able to get out of the way, which they always do. And it's like either run and make that faster so that he doesn't get that time to recoup, or something, but it seems like that happens so often that you kind of expect what's coming next out of it.
Now, did Bobby Lashley at least showboat or do a heel thing of playing to the crowd before he did it, and that's what cost him?
Not really. He just kind of did his big old Bobby march over to the other, to the edge of the ring to get to do it. It wasn't like there was that gloating moment where Kofi gets on advantage. It was just movement. Like Braun Strowman was guilty of this a lot. Braun would do this all the time.
Well, that's because that's the only spot Braun Strowman knew how to do is back up, run, they dodge, I bump off of an object.
And do the run outside the ring with the train sounds.
Yeah, train sound effects may or may not be included.
Yeah, and the person I choose to use in contrary to somebody who makes that work is how Undertaker would do it, where he'd throw him into the turnbuckle, run to the back, and then run straight up at him, and then again Irish whip into the corner, and then run right after him.
Yeah.
So you didn't get the time to recover. Instead of just slowly walking your way over there and then expecting, it's just more WWE milking. It's the format of them milking things for time, and it hurts the psychology of the match.
You know what annoyed me the most about this match? Besides the booking and just everything about it, there was 800 hot tags in this match, and only one of them actually got the crowd into it, and then they ruined it.
And it went to the wrong person.
Yeah.
And so they do this. First of all, Omos is looking better each time I see him.
Yeah.
He's learning. I mean, he did the top rope coming in the center of the ring. That inverted suplex that he did on Kofi looked.
Oh yeah, I love that. That was awesome.
The crowd
almost is getting better. He's getting more matches. He's getting less green. He's getting more polished.
Yeah, he's washing that green off of him.
It's gonna take time. And by the way, Jimmy Smith said green, which I thought was kind of
yes, I did notice that too.
Apparently that's not one of the banned words from WWE, so
Remember, it was like a couple weeks ago, there was a tag match on Raw where he mentioned they're only allowed one save, and that's like an unspoken rule that you're not supposed to talk about. Someone needs to talk to Jimmy about these unspoken terms and rules.
Yeah, it seems like he just does not care at this point.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is that if he doesn't care, then why should we care?
Well, that's just it. And part of it is then they move into this thing, and it really, the first half of this match, I didn't have a problem with. But everything after this hot tag was pretty bad, because the fans were getting into Kofi. Kofi was trying to reach up. The ref, I loved the ref positioning, kind of him being out of position. I thought that was a good hope spot for Bobby. That worked, with Bobby getting back and re-healing up so that Kofi couldn't get his tag.
Yeah, and then he tagged Woods.
And then Xavier Woods came in, and I do not understand why they would have Xavier tag in at that point for that big comeback that he spent so much time healing for Kofi. That tag should have gone to the champ and only to the champ.
My problem was trying to believe that Xavier Woods was running wild on Bobby Lashley. Just fuck off. That's all I can say is just screw you. Why am I watching this?
Well, you know that Xavier Woods is a future WWE champion just by the way that things are going with the New Day.
No. There were two members of 3MB that became champions and one member that did not. And Xavier Woods is absolutely the Heath Slater of this group.
Who gets the world title first? Xavier Woods or Heath Slater?
Heath Slater, please, for the love of God. I don't...
For a day.
I don't hate everything Heath Slater does, so hopefully Heath Slater.
Well, he's an Impact, so there's a lot less competition.
Although we haven't seen him in fucking eons.
Well, he has kids, Sean.
He's injured, so.
and then Big E tries to do the big spear on AJ when he did this weird ass counter that was like he jumped up and kind of got a leg on his back.
Yeah, they mistimed that.
Sell it. And it just turned into a hot mess, and it went way too long.
Yeah.
I loved almost just with that big right hand to counter the dive.
Yeah, that was nice.
And then this fucking finish. I don't know. What did you think of this finish? They do this collision with this where they do the backslap tag and AJ gets in, and then Bobby does the backslap tag and does the spear and gets out of the way. Big E gets the big ending on Bobby and pins him again.
Oh, Bobby actually hits AJ with a spear that he was going for Big E.
An extremely awkward, clunky-looking spear.
That I didn't hate. That part I didn't hate. The Big E using the big ending on Bobby Lashley, I hated.
Instead of rolling him up? Or something?
God, no.
Or maybe Bobby gets in the ring, doesn't try to tag AJ, hits the spear on AJ, Big E throws Bobby out of the ring and pins AJ. That's what I would have done. Because we've now pinned Bobby Lashley 3 weeks in a row.
Especially before they have a WWE Championship match on the Raw after. So let me get this straight. You're going to build up to Big E versus Bobby Lashley. You're going to build up to Big E versus Bobby Lashley on Raw, but you have Big E pin Bobby Lashley in Extreme Rules.
You're going to build up to a title match where on the pay-per-view you pin the challenger. This company.
God damn it,
This company can suck my ass.
I hate this. I just hated this. And this had potential too. And you know what I would now, of course, when I saw this, and of course your finish there, Mr. Geddon, where E pins AJ, that's the easier rebooking of this. But I also had an even better way to do this, considering that this whole match degenerated the second that Xavier Woods got the tag. Here's how I would have done this. Just a little, if you will indulge me for a quick second.
Oh, go ahead.
So, Big E gets the hot tag from Kofi, because why the fuck would Xavier Woods get it?
It's already better.
Bobby's the one who comes in, so it's Big E and Bobby. You get the big confrontation. They're going for the rights, and, Big E's getting the comeback after a little bit, but Bobby shuts him down after just a little while. Then you do this sequence with the miscue, with the spear, if you have to get this in, and then Big E tries for the big ending, but Bobby slips down the back and gets the hurt lock in. And as he's got the hurt lock, Big E is reaching, but you can see that he's strong enough. He's such a beefy boy that he's walking still with Bobby with the hurt lock in, and Big E is still walking towards the tag side of the tag where he's able to tag in Xavier Woods, who then does the springboard kicks that he does to Bobby to break Bobby off of Big E, who then he gets a few drop kicks, but then of course Bobby just finally gets him and picks him up, maybe catches him with one of those drop kicks, lands him, pins Xavier Woods after a massive dominator, while AJ and Omos are on the outside and take care of the other two. So instead, Bobby pins Woods, but Bobby had the better of Big E, so Big E's still going to have to be a little insecure about proving that he's truly earned this WWE Championship. And then the promos later on make more sense than they did with the finish that they've given.
I don't know, Sean. I feel like pinning the almighty Bobby Lashley 3 straight shows is the right way to go. Not so almighty anymore, is he?
Next match.
Next match. Screw this opening match. Remember when he liked it more than any of us and we made him so depressed that he said, all right, next match.
No.
We have sucked you dry.
I still like this match more than you guys, and I'm defeated at this point going, next match, let's go.
We've sucked you dry, Skyler.
Well,
this show sucked me dry. You guys are fine. It's the fucking show.
Well, if you can, I have a new name for the people whose initials are S and P. I'm not even going to say their actual name. It's the SmackDown tag match. It's the Usos defending against Shitty and Poopy. Because I hate these two. I hate everything about them. I just cannot get into this. What did you think about this tag match, Josh? Again,
I've already seen this match. I watched an episode of SmackDown a couple weeks ago, and these two teams had the exact same match they had on this show, except in this match it was a little different because, ouchie, my ribs. So I didn't care. That's basically what this was.
So this is the Street Profits' best wrestling match in their entire history, and not because of the Street Profits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Usos wrestled 2 forms of human waste.
No, the Usos wrestled 2 solo cups and got a decent couple of matches out of the solo cups.
Well, the solo cups had poop and pee in them.
Well, let me first say this. When I say shitty, I'm referring to that Dawkins fellow. And when I say poopy, I am referring to that Ford gentleman. So we're clear on the most sophisticated of nicknames for these two individuals.
Can the Usos get a real tag team to wrestle them?
Montez Fart.
Well, okay, that's good. That was good. And, anyway, so one of the things that caught up with me on this, first of all, why would you have a tag match following a 6-man tag match where they're going to do 2/3 of the exact same spots that you saw in the 6-man tag match?
Because the people that book these shows are on ketamine.
Earlier, 20 minutes ago, we saw this matchup.
Because this show's run by fucking monkeys.
And with buck teeth. And the CGI Sonic logo rings covered up.
Oh my god!
The CGI Sonic rings cover up the wrestlers, and if that isn't a good metaphor for WWE, I don't know if I've ever heard one.
I can feel Joshua dying the second he saw the Sonic rings.
Oh my god, I wanted to turn my TV off. I hated that so much.
Terrible.
In my opinion, these are the worst graphics they've ever... Like, I hate the stupid birds that come out of Matt Riddle's toes. I hate Bianca Belair's humongous whip lips. This was the worst thing I've ever seen.
You shouldn't say that.
It's not the fact that it was on the screen. Instead, they kept it on the screen, and the Usos were walking towards the camera, but the freaking graphics were still where they were. So just the editor in me is wanting to rip his hair out.
Well, the night is young, Josh, again. There's plenty more shenanigans to come.
Oh, I am aware. I don't know if I'm going to make it through this show.
Did we get a collar and elbow tie-up in this match? We did in the 6-man tag, for which I was very thankful.
Yes, we did. We did get a collar and elbow tie-up in this match.
We did. So the Colonial
was even a good Colonial tie-up.
Yeah, well, I don't count the quality of the Colonial tie-up because even Riho has done one, and that was I've never seen in my life. But
that's the thing, though. That it's not. You can't just say when they do it. You also say how they did it.
Well, I do if it's bad enough to be worth commenting.
Skyler, we're grading on a fucking curve. We're trying to give them a bone here.
What bone? They don't deserve a bone.
Put this dog behind the house and put a slug in the back of its head.
Joshua, they're looking for the smoke. Remember, they gotta catch the smoke, which you can't even have in a solo cup.
Sean, I don't think I've ever told you to shut the fuck up before, but please.
Shitty's dropkick sucks, and so do Poopy's. And we get a backslap tag.
Yep.
Hooray.
Yep.
Shitty looks like an out-of-weight father that got into wrestling in his late 30s.
Yeah. And although I do have to say, Pat McAfee, who is, of course, a gem amongst Cole.
Aha.
Oh, that's good. That's a good joke.
Aha.
That's a good joke.
That was a good one.
He's the diamond in the coal mine.
Oh, man. Okay.
Okay, you took it too far back. You took it too far, Skyler.
No, I did not.
Omega Elfberg does not approve.
Well,
We're going farther.
Well, regarding the diamond, Pat McAfee, I loved his Tua Tonka Tatunga reference to Poopy's injury. For Joshua, for you, that is the Miami Dolphins quarterback who I butchered the last name of, and he had an injury, and Pat McAfee was like, "Oh, he was out for 3 weeks, so who knows how Ford's toughing it out? I wonder how he's feeling." And it was just a good comparison. I like that Pat McAfee does kind of try to sell what's going on here, and he does it in a way that doesn't sound so cheesy the way that WWE always tends to do it.
I heard Tatanka, and now I'm thinking of
no football. So Joshua was lost listening to these references, not knowing who the fuck Pat McAfee's talking about.
Sean, when you said that, all I could think was Tatanka, so now I'm thinking about Chops.
Chop, 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 chop.
Well, and then the Usos take advantage, and one of the Usos, I think it was Jey Uso, did a back suplex onto Poopy, and Shitty was nowhere to be found. I was like, dude, your guy just got back suplexed on the outside, where you clearly could have gone and run interference, but you just sat there behind the ring rope like, oh, I guess I'll wait for the tag.
But don't you know how babyface tag teams work?
Like morons?
Yes!
Yeah!
God.
Come on, you've been watching wrestling your entire life. You know babyfaces are morons. At least that's what WWE tells us.
Yeah, but they're not this bad. They're not this bad of morons. They're not that much a moron.
You have not seen it yet then.
Maybe Montez Fart bugging his eyes out for so long has like permanently damaged his eyes.
Well, they did. And then there was a top rope dive where Shitty was supposed to catch him into a big, like, T-bone suplex, and that did not happen.
Nope.
Because they just kind of landed there, and they're like, oh, let's just get in position. And then he does a roll-through after a superplex and does whatever that, like, double-armed neck breaker was, which was unexciting, and the only person I think who can really do that is Seth Rollins and make it seem actually believable.
Agreed. And then he kicked out of it, and I was like, yay. God, my enthusiasm is just off the charts right now.
Also just weakens the superplex, which they're going to use in another 3 or 4 times tonight.
Yep.
Then Michael Cole calls a main event Jey Uso when he's on second.
Yep.
Well, he did appear in the main event, so you can't say he's not main event.
Well, I suppose that's true, but he wasn't actually in the match. He was just involved with the match.
Hey. They don't ask how, they ask how many.
Well, I wish there was... And I was saying, how many minutes are left on this program?
I was saying, how many fucking times are we going to see finisher kickouts in this match that no one cares about?
And you know what I've realized in this? A lot of Uso matches lately have ended up like this, where it's just meaningless quote-unquote hot tags and moves.
Yeah, and finisher
and that's
kickouts.
how this match ended.
That's probably the problem with the Usos is that because of the tag team division they're working with and the quality of the talent that they have to work with, they can't have any other matches besides these ones. It's not the Usos' fault that all the Street Profits can do is hot tag finishers.
And all of this in the name of the Smack Team Championships.
And need I remind you that these guys, Shitty and Poopy, were the longest ever reigning Raw Tag Team Champions.
That's right, folks. This all began with turkey legs. My hatred for them began with turkey legs, and this is where we're at.
I'm not even joking. Even with the swamp fight and the turkey legs and whatever, last year's Extreme Rules, the horror show, and the eyeball match, at least that show had something happening on that show. I'm not even joking. I hated this show more than last year's Extreme Rules. Last year's Extreme Rules was awful and stupid, but at least things happened.
Well, in all fairness, the turkey leg incident was at Backlash.
Okay, fair enough.
But
So fuck you, Joshua. No.
This show already did a good job. This show already did a good enough job fucking me, so just the more the merrier at this point.
yeah,
Well, let's continue with the fucking, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
This match went way too long. My last words on this were, please end this. And then, before we continue, I have to mention this because it was something that angered me the whole night. We got to talk about these interview segments.
Oh, no.
So we're expected to believe that in the world of WWE, Bobby Lashley's just like, hey, cameraman, get over here. Tell them in the truck to turn it on so I can give an interview. There's no announcer there. There's no one asking him a question. He's just, here, turn on the camera. And we're just expected that Bobby's just knows exactly to be where he's supposed to be, when he's supposed to be there to cut this promo. It made no sense. I was like, why is nobody there to ask him a question? This made no sense, but he did get to say a swear word, so hooray.
Yeah, the crowd popped for that.
His line's good, so that's good too.
Yeah.
But
It would have been better if Bobby actually did the old Shield thing of stealing a camera and then talking through the camera.
No, but it wasn't. It was just in the random spot in the background where you could tell that a camera guy was there.
I know. That's what I'm saying, is that he should have just stolen a camera and just started doing a promo on the camera. Like, come on, it's not that hard.
But Sean, this is Extreme Rules, and rules don't matter.
Oh, well, just wait. Just wait. There's nothing extreme and there are no rules.
This was the least Extreme Rules pay-per-view they've ever done. Like, they should have just called this show Rules.
I will have to say, well, there weren't many of those either. And
Just call the show nothing.
To WWE's credit, they saved the Extreme Rules stipulation for just the main event. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
And they also saved all the obligatory main event spots that they sometimes do for matches before the main event, such as the broadcast table and the barricade spot. But we'll get to those later.
They didn't save the finisher kickouts for the main event. Oh wait, they never do.
Well, here comes this match. Oh God.
Oh no.
We are all, I think I can safely speak for all of us when I say we're all dreading talking about this. It's the Raw Women's Championship match. It is Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss in a build-up that nobody cared about, and you could tell that Kevin Dunn was pumping in the interest.
This match was, for me, was the equivalent of someone butt raping me and I had diarrhea and they just kept doing it through my diarrhea. That's what this match was. The silence.
How do you follow
I have
that
nothing
up?
to say after that.
How do you follow that one up?
Yeah. No, there's nothing to say. I want you to stand in the corner for 2 minutes, and I want you to think about what you just said.
I'll stand in the corner. Don't fucking bend over again. Come at me!
So
hold on. So Joshua, you were complaining about the Street Profits and the Usos and the Sonic Rings. I'll argue this giant animatron Lily doll. That was worse.
No, I would take that over the rings, honestly. But at least the doll got ripped into pieces.
No, but the way that the doll interacted was so bad. Like, Alexa Bliss walks past the doll, but the doll's in front of her. Then she walks behind it or in front of it. Stupid.
this was all stupid. This match was boring. Charlotte was booing herself to get the crowd to boo her.
Yeah.
That's how bad people did not care. Everything Charlotte did just looked bad. Alexa Bliss is not in Charlotte's league of wrestling, just to be fair. I mean, it's not the way that she's been presented at the very least, but really just when it comes to actual wrestling. That Hurricanrana was terrible. The structure was not good. The first natural selection, Jesus fucking Christ.
At least we didn't get a god-awful moonsault to the outside in this match.
No, hold on. Legitimately, guys, what's the last good Charlotte Flair one-on-one match that you can remember?
My brain's not working. Sean?
Ripley 2020?
Yes. What has she done since then? What has she done since that one match with Rhea Ripley?
Won an ungodly amount of championships for her dad who likes to strut in front of people naked and harass flight attendants.
Multiple facial procedures.
Multiple late-night sessions with a Mexican wrestler.
I want you to stand in the corner for 2 minutes. I want you to think about what you said.
Hey, I'm jealous. I wish Andrade would tap me.
Well, you just need 5 more surgeries and then you'll get there.
It's going to be a late night at the office, Omega Elfberg. No overtime pay.
Andrade, I'll do anything for you. I'll get surgery to make my tits much bigger.
Well,
Omega Elf wants 3 weeks vacation.
Omega Elf want raise. Omega Elf unionize.
How about this?
No, they had a union. They had a union until Joshua killed all of them.
Yeah. Maybe one day I'll get buff enough, I'll work out a little bit, and I will have a one-on-one match with Omega Elfberg.
And the finish for this match, God.
Before we get to this finish, I had an irk. And this is something that we would see in at least 4 of the 6 matches on this card. Every single match had a roll-up sequence of 1, 2,
whoa!
1, 2,
whoa!
1, 2, whoa! Every match up to this point had a sequence like that. I'm pretty sure that almost every match had it. And it's like, how much is too much, folks? You can't all wrestle the exact same fucking match. It's like, please.
And you know what's the sad part is that WWE has actually been kind of good in the last few months of varying their matches so that not everyone's doing all the same moves.
Not on this show. Not on this show.
Tonight they're just following the same fucking playbook.
And there was only one nice looking spot in that match, and that was the Code Red, which looked contrived, but it was the nicest spot they had.
Yeah. Like, God, these two could have.
To the boot is not a disqualification.
These two could have had a 5-star classic, and I still would have hated it because I hate both of them. And they did not have a 5-star classic. They maybe had a 0-star match with a -3-star finish.
And God, this is my. Then now we'll talk about this finish. Now this post match.
Oh,
the second
God.
natural selection also looked like dog shit. Big surprise.
I blame Alexa more on that second one than I do Charlotte, but it still was bad.
I blame everyone for allowing that move to be her finishing move. I blame wrestling. I blame professional wrestling in general for allowing that kind of move to exist.
You blame professional wrestling for allowing Charlotte to be famous?
Yes.
Well,
no, we should just blame Flair.
Well, then we get the post-match of this, where Charlotte rips up the doll, and this post-match dragged. It took forever.
God. This went on and on and on. God.
And Charlotte ripping up a voodoo bullshit doll so this feud can continue. Man, this pay-per-view was really extreme.
That's the sound you're hearing is me hitting myself in the head with a Pepsi bottle.
No, here's the thing. That is the end of the feud, okay? I don't care what you are. I don't care what you do. That's the end of the feud. You can't continue it.
It was the end of my patience.
but the very obvious Alka-Seltzer tablet on the tongue would say otherwise, Sky.
Hey, this show at least was a good advertisement for Alka-Seltzer, because I wanted one after watching this match.
Alexa loses her shit. And to her credit, she can act. Her facials were fine. I bet she gets fake facials, but that's something else.
Sean! My favorite part of that joke, Sean, is that I was thinking the same thing.
And it just took so long. And then the close-up, this was the killer for me.
What, you didn't like Alexa's loogie?
First of all, if she was that upset about the doll, why wouldn't she just run up the ramp with the doll? She wouldn't want to be backing up so the camera could catch her weeping with this doll. And then so he sits down and starts to cry. And then just, like, she screams so that everyone can see the Alka-Seltzer tablet on her fucking tongue.
Yep.
And she folds from the mouth, and we just made a facials joke, but dear God, what did it look like?
Just slap a Brazzers logo.
Just calmed down a demon.
Oh my God!
At least Venom didn't come on her again like he did at WrestleMania.
This was terrible. This was just straight up. Everything about this was bad.
Diarrhea, ass rape, and Venom come. That's what this match was.
The name of Alka-Seltzer was elevated by the movie Little Giants. They may sell fewer bottles after this. And if Alka-Seltzer is needing some extra cash, feel free to sponsor TAW Gaming and/or the Court Martial podcast.
Dude, I hate the WWE Women's Division so much. It is the worst. It is the absolute worst.
We'll get more of that later.
Boy, howdy, will we?
Then here comes strike two of the interviews continuity formatting that I took such ire with. So Bobby is just expected to be there in his spot for the right place at the right time for the cameraman to turn the camera on so he can cut his promo. But then an announcer's just creeping on Paul Heyman making a private-ass phone call. And so the announcers find a creep on Paul Heyman, but to interview Bobby Lashley, who is just in a match, I guess that's just not as important as being just a snooty snoot. And Heyman's on the phone and, of course, cuts a great promo, but this continuity of, here's an announcer, but there's no announcer for that. And then they do it again for Big E later, where Big E cuts a promo in the locker room where he's just expected to be there with no one to say, how are you feeling in this? And what Bobby Lashley's comments, it's just, here he is. There he is. And, oh, God, this was like, the promos were fine. Paul Heyman's got the Rudy Giuliani tan. And, dear God, can you just format this like regular human beings, WWE? It's not that hard.
Okay, can I say something that's slightly controversial? May have Omega Elf have to get on the censor?
Oh, no.
As if he's here all night. Buddy.
He'll censor the Court Martial podcast. He's not on my show, so spill the beans, Skyler.
I think this is the first time in Paul Heyman's life that a beautiful woman tried to sneak up next to him.
No, I feel like Heyman has said those words before. Are you afraid I'm talking to another journalist? I could totally see Paul Heyman in late 2000s into 2001 saying those words after repeated checks didn't quite cash.
And this better end in a Kayla Braxton, Paul Heyman sex scene.
Just like Edge and Lita.
Yeah. Live sex celebration.
Also interrupted by John Cena.
Yes, and John Cena gives Paul Heyman an attitude adjustment in the ring collapse.
Can we just get a sex tape of Kayla Braxton and Paul Heyman filmed by Brad Maddox?
As long as Xavier Woods is in there, too.
And reported by Gawker.
God knows.
All right, now that we've gotten as many controversial references in at once, and we are moving on to this triple threat.
Match of the night.
I disagree, actually, but this is a match that was on the night.
I liked the last 5 minutes.
It was Jeff Hardy versus Damian Priest versus Sheamus.
Irish Batman to you.
Well, what's he to you, Sky? Why don't you tell us what you thought about this match?
I came.
There's a lot of bodily
fluids. In the last match. We just saw that in the last match, Sky. We can't repeat gimmicks.
There's a lot of body fluids on this show today.
It's extreme. I didn't know it was that extreme.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. Sheamus and Damian Priest are both really good, but this match did something that I have not done in several years, and it made me excited to watch Jeff Hardy. I don't know if you guys know this, but Jeff Hardy to me is boring. He's not interesting. It's just one of those things where Jeff Hardy, he's stale. But god damn it, did he make me want him to win.
Well, the crowd did a good job of that. This was a very pro-Jeff Hardy crowd, which was a little surprising.
There was actually a problem with this match. It's that there were
how sloppy it was.
Heel. So because there were two baby faces and they were cheering more for Jeff Hardy, it left Damian Priest to kind of be in the middle.
Yeah. And
did we get a collar and elbow tie-up in this match?
No, we did not. We actually...
yes, we did.
Believe it or not, we got a collar and elbow tie-up in the Charlotte Flair Alexa Bliss match.
So we're 4 for 4?
No, I'm sorry. We're 3 for 3. I missed it in the Charlotte Alexa Bliss. They did. Of course, they did not, with Sheamus going and beefing his hands around.
Also, real quick, when Skyler said this match made me do something I haven't done in a while, I thought he was going to say, come.
That's what I said. That's literally what I said.
I did that last night.
All right.
Well, speaking of things that make you do a lot of moves, this match was a lot of moves.
Sloppily executed moves, and Damian Priest falling off the apron. And then Jeff Hardy with the Dragon Sleeper, allegedly.
And to me, this match, I've said it before, I'm over the triple threat matches just in general, because it just turns into one guy selling on the outside, the first two doing a thing, and then they just rotate, and then they do a big finishing sequence, and that's it. It's like cut and paste. Same thing with most triple threat matches, and I like all three of these guys. And I just couldn't get into it until really the last about 2 minutes.
I just like the triple threat formula. It is a cut and paste formula. I don't mind it. I just couldn't get into it at first because the match was so damn sloppy. Like, none of it was really anyone's fault. It's just one of those nights where you just don't have all your eggs in one basket. Although I will say Damian Priest and Jeff Hardy...
baskets, period.
Damian Priest and Jeff Hardy need to stop having matches, because the last time they had a one-on-one match, Damian Priest gave Jeff Hardy the Reckoning, allegedly, and it was the clunkiest, softest landing I've ever seen in my life. Just, I don't need any more Damian Priest versus Jeff Hardy.
Fair enough. Well, yes, there were several slips, and there was a couple of botches, but at least these guys, they were able to recover.
They did.
The spot you're talking about, Sheamus was beating on Priest's chest, and then Priest tried to turn it around, and as he was about to go for the first one, he slipped off the apron, but then he quickly kicks Sheamus, so he gets the opportunity to actually do the spot. I mean, that was a quick recovery. It wasn't bad. And it's a principle that me and Sean have talked about before. If you're over enough, you can make a couple of mistakes here and there.
I mean, if it's just like one or two, it's just I felt like this match was just all kinds of clunky. But it really picked up towards the end. Like the last 5 minutes, I loved.
Well, I don't know what it is about Sheamus and Damian Priest and then the addition of Hardy, but this is the second pay-per-view in a row where they have gotten the crowd from basically sleeping to invested in the rest of the product. So they're doing something right here.
Yeah.
They're clearly doing something right here. And I have to agree with both what you said. It does feel like Jeff should feel more important than he does right now. Like, because I'm like, that's Jeff Hardy, it's a former world's champion that he's got. But then I had the thought, which one of these two is more irrelevant, Matt or Jeff?
Probably Matt Hardy, because what's the last thing Matt Hardy's done?
He competed in a 10-man tag at the buy-in and made a collar tie-up happen in that 10-man tag before he was play-kicked by Orange Cassidy.
No, the answer is obviously that thing with Sammy Guevara.
Oh, you mean, what relevant thing has he done? Oh.
A 10-man tag with Sammy Guevara.
No, I'm talking about that cinematic thing.
A cinematic 10-man tag with Sammy Guevara.
Whatever. Anyways, point though is that I think a lot of it has to go to Sheamus. Sheamus is criminally underrated as a heel. he may be top 5 one of the best heels in WWE.
Him doing the Jeff Hardy dance was the funniest thing. It was so ridiculous.
And that I was happy with. That's really when I actually started getting involved in the match. So maybe it was only the last 30 seconds that I really enjoyed, but still.
The fact that he was able to perfectly balance on the top rope and do Jeff Hardy's dance before doing an elbow drop made me happy.
That was fun. That was really funny.
That was funny. But you know what made me angry? Is when they did the, first of all, Sheamus, sit down on your goddamn cloverleaf. It looks like you're not doing any pressure at all. And then Hardy gets the rope, but there's no rope break, and I call bullshit because there are plenty of triple threat matches in this company I've seen with rope breaks. That's another one of those convenience ones that they choose to either have or don't have for the sake of telling the story. Pick one and stick with it.
Once again, this show is called blank because it wasn't extreme and there were no rules, except when there were some rules.
But not this time because it's a triple threat match, so there's no disqualifications, which is fucking stupid.
Again, you cannot hate me. You cannot make me hate this match. I liked it.
I will say, Skyler, this was, in my opinion, the best match of the night as well. And that is sad because the last 5 minutes of this match I liked. The rest was sloppy, and that was my favorite match of the night. If that's my favorite match of the night, we have problems.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a good match. It got the crowd over. It got them
excited. It did.
And they were working really hard. I mean, there were several spots where I thought Jeff Hardy's actually about to win. This isn't he.
Yeah, no, I was happy that the crowd was into this, and I was happy that the crowd was very pro Jeff Hardy. It was nice to see him cheered again. Kevin Dunn missed a whole bunch of camera cuts. I had a realization about Sheamus. Every move that Sheamus does is a finish. He hits the Alabama Slam. That's a finish. Hit that top rope knee, also a finish. I know it's an older school finish, but also a finish. Sheamus is the creative wrestler where the kid just put the finishers for his entire moveset.
Accurate.
We're just missing an RKO. That's all we're missing.
Yeah, well, he did, but I do have to say Sheamus must have heard our review about his backbreaker and heard what I said about his backbreaker because he did that Uragi backbreaker and keeping Damian Priest on his leg. He just pushed him right off, which I had an issue with in the first match. So he is listening.
I will say that backbreaker by Sheamus was disgusting. I loved it. Charlotte, that is how you do a backbreaker. Charlotte did 3 backbreakers in her match with Alexa Bliss, and all of them looked god awful.
Well, that's the thing though, is that Sheamus is still entertaining. Where he was doing the Jeff Hardy dance, doing the Hulk Hogan ear thing, doing a nip up to the top rope, and then telling the crowd, "I still got it."
Yeah, Sheamus is great.
Sheamus is great.
Sheamus is really great, and the thing, my big issue with this, just kind of in the finishing sequence, I like the choke slam from Damian Priest, but I think overall in his moveset, he needs to sit out less during his moves, because a lot of times he lands before his opponent lands.
He sits out too far away.
It wasn't even just for that move, though. That was a critique in multiple of his moves.
Yeah, his Falcon Arrow, he sits out, but he slams them a yard away from him. The choke slam, he slams them a mile away, closer to where you're sitting out, so it looks like it's more impactful.
Well, isn't that also a thing of he has so much power that it should be, I don't know, it should register more. Also, when Priest was trying to do a flying knee on Jeff Hardy, and then Sheamus pushes Jeff Hardy out of the way so he can give Priest a knee, that knee was beautiful. That was great. And the near fall on that was great too, because the crowd lost their minds on that.
Yeah. And I know I'm rewinding a little bit, but did anyone catch the Jeff Hardy Bojack baby splash?
Yeah. Baby clap, golf clap.
Great tribute. And then, in a show where there's just a jillion roll-up sequences, they end this match with a roll-up.
Yep. Yep. This one worked.
Well, at least
this was the only one that worked.
We got it. I don't know. This didn't do it for me the way that. And then Corey Graves. Anyone else care to talk about this?
Corey Graves was as dead
line of the night.
He was as dead inside as we are right now.
So, after a great United States Championship match, Corey Graves, in trying to hype up the rest of the show, says, and we have a United States title match upcoming.
Well, at least it's Memorial Day weekend after all.
Corey Graves, retire.
At least he didn't say, "Oh, Sheamus kicked out of that roll-up." Oh wait, no, he didn't.
We need a legend.
At least he didn't say it was for the national championship. At least he didn't say it was for the national championship.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Well, we need to have some sort of announcing awards for the absolute worst of the worst.
We need to keep account of the dumb shit they say.
The grapplies.
That's right. We're gonna have to add that the most boneheaded commentary line of the year.
Oh God.
We're gonna add a grapply. Stay tuned for that. At the end of the year, we're gonna host the grapplies once again. The second annual award ceremony. Gonna be a great time.
And I will actually try to be in attendance for that because I am looking forward to that.
It's a fun show.
So we need to move on to the next match, which was for the U.S. title.
Yes, this match for the U.S. title.
The United States Women's Championship.
Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's United States Championship.
And I'll tell you what, this was, until the finish, my favorite match of the night.
That is fair because I also thought it was a good match.
It was good, and then we had a DQ on Extreme Rules, and I wanted to die. I just wanted to die. I just wanted to cease.
At least it was not a DQ during a Hell in a Cell.
That is true.
True. I didn't hate the finish, but it went forever. Like most other things in this match, I just went forever. But the crowd was into this. The crowd was really into this, and I hate this manhandle slam. It's the worst. And here's my question to you, gentlemen. So, Becky Lynch's name is The Man, a la Ric Flair, and she's doing a rock bottom. So what is original about Becky Lynch now? And she's stealing from Seth Waluigi's closet.
Her hair.
That's the only thing I wrote down. That's all I had. It was her hair.
Her Irish accent.
Sheamus.
Well, Sheamus also has orange hair.
Well, then comes Bianca Belair, and that jaded pink Glittertron is just a little bit much.
How have people not, had seizures looking at that yet? I almost had one watching the show.
But Joshua, didn't you love those cute little kitsy faces that they put on the ring?
No.
Sean, when I kill myself, I'm blaming you in my suicide note.
Hope you got that cup of coffee, Elfberg. Well, so
Elfberg wants 6% retirement.
Elfberg needs to finish his health insurance forms before we get talking about that.
This show is so fucking dark. I love it.
This is more entertaining. Us talking about random dark jokes is more entertaining than this show, folks.
Dark side
of the more extreme than this show.
Dark side of the podcast.
And then they start off this match with teasing finishers, which I hate. They do it so often, and for whatever reason, they always do it with Bianca Belair, and I'm just over it.
Hold on. Before you do anything, you have to answer the question, did we in fact get a collar and elbow tie-up?
Later. But no.
Eventually.
But to start the match, no. Because it was finisher teases. Hooray!
What if they did a collar and elbow tie-up tease?
Outfit, by the way.
She took something out of Seth Waluigi's closet.
Yeah, she took his outfit from against John Cena at SummerSlam 2015.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that when she slid into the ring, all those little metal beads went, wah. That's how I knew that it must have come from her husband. Who was home watching the kids, I assume, which is why she was on this pay-per-view.
Makes perfect sense.
They weren't on the same show at the same time.
Yeah, there was a decent amount of people who did not appear on the show that I was kind of surprised by.
Yeah, and
Seth wasn't there. Edge wasn't there. Drew wasn't there.
Yep.
He was in a weird commercial where he was like popping his chest out. It was what was that energy drink supplement thing that they were promoting?
It's whatever Joshua's next phrase is.
No, well,
C4,
no,
C4?
I would actually rather drink actual C4 and ignite it, but
something like that. I don't know. They're not paying us to give them their proper name. So
I will say this: at least Becky Lynch, she doesn't have that much ring rust. She probably worked it on the house shows that they had, but she definitely did look. She looked solid here.
Agreed.
She did.
Agreed.
Her natural selection looks better than either of Charlotte's.
Yes, obviously, yes. Which is another move that she stole.
And then that choke slam, like the choke into the flip reversal into the like that deadlift suplex that Bianca did was great.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
I mean, they were snug, and this is what we talk about when we say about how angry we get about this division, because for the select few workers who are good at what they do, like Bianca and Becky, when they do have a match like this, I do enjoy it. Unfortunately, the ratio of matches like this, not counting the finish, to matches in the women's division is immensely disproportionate.
It's disappointing with the women's division that the only ones that can have a good wrestling match are the Horsewomen and Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and maybe Alexa Bliss if she was serious.
The women's division is so bad that we got excited off a suplex that looked good.
Well, personally, I just enjoyed Becky Lynch yelling at Michael Cole.
That too.
By the way, that was one of my favorite things about this whole thing, because when she said what she did, when she said, "Don't tell me what I'm thinking," that is 100% the problem with Michael Cole in a nutshell.
Although, that's another stolen thing from Bayley.
It's true. Well, there was a lot of, there were subtle acknowledgments to the Horsewomen in this entire matchup.
And the whole time I was thinking, how much are they going to steal from me?
Well, they got close, but I found out something because Michael Cole, the avid wrestling historian he is, said that JBL invented the fallaway slam.
No, he did not.
No, he did not. Michael Cole.
God, I hated that.
I'm like, they're like, oh, JBL made that famous. I'm like, no, he didn't.
He did that move.
People who've done that move. Although I will say I always liked JBL's fallaway slam, but that wasn't the point.
Yeah, well, he didn't invent the move. God.
And then they do the hair tug to the spine buster, which looked great as well. And then
Bianca Belair's spine busters are always beautiful.
Yep.
They are. And then this match just started going on, and the crowd started losing interest. And
it felt like they wore out their welcome.
And then I'm going to say something harsh. And I admit that it's harsh, and it's obviously an unfair comparison, so I'm saying this a little bit just to troll. But they were mentioning so much about Becky's new moveset in her arsenal, and Becky's new moveset is that she is the Irish Riho, but with leg drops.
Yeah.
No.
That's what she did. It was leg drops all night.
No, John, you've gone too far.
But it was leg drops.
John,
break it up.
Sean, it is your turn to stay in the corner for 2 minutes and think about what you just said. How dare you compare one of the best wrestlers in this generation of women's wrestlers to a fucking stick in the dress?
I said it was harsh. It was a wee bit harsh, lassie. I don't mean
it's a wee bit harsh. It was also a wee bit not true.
I get what he was saying, but what I was thinking was, wow, she added new moves to her moveset. She's always done leg drops.
Oh, man.
God.
Riho, so Riho can go fuck off.
Michael, I watched the show. Why do you think I don't watch? They are convinced that no one watches their show.
Because
they're convinced that anyone who watches their show forgets it.
Oh, God, I hate this company.
They think that every single person who is watching WWE is an absolute imbecile.
I mean, we keep watching, so maybe there's some truth to that, but...
Yeah, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me every month, repeatedly, for $5 a month. Shame on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
$5 a month or the pirate stream.
And then
Yarg.
This match, the crowd was losing interest, and then this is match number 4 with another roll-up T sequence, BT dubs. And
Sean, it wasn't a school boy, it was a school girl, so it's different. I'll put myself in the corner.
Yeah, you better put yourself
in the corner and think about what you said for the next 2 minutes.
I'll put myself in the corner, and hopefully I'll find a noose.
Standing in the corner, while you two are standing in the corner thinking about what you just said.
I'm looking for an...
was about to win this match with a KOD, reversing Becky Lynch's disarmor.
Which looks great, by the way.
Yes, and I love the fact that they did the tease of Bianca Belair fighting her way out of disarmor twice in the match, clearly showing that she's an equal to Becky. Here comes Sasha Banks to attack Bianca Belair because, of course.
I'm really sad that when...
equal to either of them.
I'm really sad that when I went to the corner, I couldn't find a noose, but, yeah.
No, but here's the thing. Sasha Banks attacks Bianca Belair, and then for a brief moment, I thought to myself, these motherfuckers, they're just going to keep stealing from me. They're going to have Becky and Sasha Banks working together. And then Sasha Banks attacked Becky, and I didn't have to sue them.
And then they didn't, and I thought that also was not good, because I actually would have been a lot more interested in Becky and Sasha actually teaming up together, especially with the natural selection from earlier and just yelling at Michael Cole like Bayley is known to do. And for the
sheer weird that the horsewomen
material.
It's not weird, but it's kind of interesting that all the horsewomen are basically heels at this point. Like, none of them are baby faces.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to, now would be the time, and heels would be the place that they should be. But to me, this DQ finish, I didn't really have much of a problem with it, but the triple threat that they're teasing, I am not okay with.
Oh, I was about to say, Sean, this builds to your... I was saying this finish builds to Sean's favorite match stipulation of all time.
McCarty tribute.
They need to have a triple threat pay-per-view where every match is a triple threat.
And it's not even like why don't we just...
Didn't they have a pay-per-view called Fatal 4-Way and every match was a Fatal 4-Way?
They did. They had 3 Fatal 4-Ways.
Blah.
Yeesh.
Blech. Well, still, this was probably the best thing that I saw all night.
And it ended via DQ.
Ladies did.
And it ended via DQ.
And then this. The 20-plus minute Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor matchup for the Universal Heavyweight Championship of the world, planet, solar system, and universe.
In perpetuity of all time to the Masters of the Universe.
I want to kill myself.
And this match... Oh, excuse me, I misspoke. It's not Roman Reigns against Finn Balor. It's Roman Reigns versus the Demon with the funny plastic cone spiked mohawk. I wonder how many paper towels he had to go with to assemble that.
Sean, did you know that he's wrestling the Demon on this show? Did you know that it's not just Finn Balor, it's the Demon Finn Balor?
And as he explained in that hype package, face paint equals rage.
Did you know that the Demon is the Demon? I wouldn't have noticed because the announcers only said it 8 trillion times instead of 8 trillion and one time, so I guess I missed it.
But at least Hamwich did not get the satisfaction of an in-ring intro. Again, have to give WWE credit where it's... The favorite things that came out of this with WWE for me is the fact that they only had one Extreme Rules match on the show and that they didn't do an in-ring intro in the final main event. That's the only redeeming qualities I've got.
My favorite part of this show was the fact that there were only 7 matches and not 8.
What'd you think, Skyler?
Because you both are going to shit on my opinion.
I'm guessing you like this match.
I like this match up until the finish, but let's be clear. Let's start at the beginning, shall we, with these 45-minute entrances that Roman and the Demon had. Roman, you are making Triple H proud. You're making Triple H proud in his hospital bed.
Did he bump clavicle first into the steel steps in this match?
No. We did not mention the steel step spot in the previous match that I also thought was nice, which was towards the end with Becky Lynch and Bianca, which I was like, you know what? They don't give too many female steel step spots, so I'll take that. I didn't hate that.
It was a bit contrived because basically they were trying to do like a gory bomb, and then it went with a roll through, which,
I thought it was a little sloppy.
Yeah, it was a little sloppy, and it was contrived and set up, but whatever.
Better than nothing. I didn't hate it. That was one of those few things.
Now, hold on. The demon coming out to his entrance with this fucking red storm and red lightning. Goddamn. Oh, and tentacles. Let's not forget tentacles came out of this thing.
I didn't know whether I was watching WWE or about to go into the Twilight Princess world.
I was hoping a porno would break out because Roman's covered in body oil. Finn has tentacles. I was really hoping to just whip my dick out and start jerking off, but nothing happened.
I'm surprised neither of you made the joke of, I was wondering whether or not we had just opened Skyler's search history.
Finn Balor's in your sex search history?
You just revealed a lot about yourself more than we said about anything about you. I don't think
to be fair, Finn Balor is so jacked up. To be fair, Finn Balor is so jacked that I would be willing to fuck him.
Just rub your dick in between a six-pack.
So the team that comes into this match, Pat McAfee, Pat McAfee made me laugh because he's not quite sure how to call the demons, and so Finn Balor removes his tunic there that he's got around his waist. He's like, the demon
removed his kilt.
It's not a kilt, Pat, but yeah.
If he would have said pants, I would have died.
Did we get a collar and elbow tie-up, gentlemen?
I can't remember.
The answer's yes. 4 for 6. Not too shabby, WWE.
75%. It's a passing grade.
As consistent as your collar and elbow tie-ups.
By the way, Carmella and Liv Morgan also did have a collar and elbow tie-up, so it's 5 and 7.
But was it a good collar and elbow tie-up?
No.
No, it was specifically for them. They're the only two that actually cheat.
That's why I didn't mention it, because it wasn't good.
Oh, God. And then, we start off this match with a Vince McMahon special. My kendo stick has a bigger dick than your kendo stick.
Oh, my God. But it had weird demon tape holding it together.
Isn't it weird that Finn Balor basically wore blackface?
It is now. Once again, dying. Absolutely dead. Nobody called that. JoshAgeddon broken.
I'm in tears. But the reason why is because during the match, I kept looking at Finn's face and I was like, they could have put a little bit more red in his face. This doesn't look right.
I didn't even. I just that glossed by. Wow.
I'm dying.
Folks, this is how you know it's the main event. We save the best for last. So that's just some good old-fashioned Vince McMahon racism right there. And
look at Joshua just dying over here. Trying to keep the show together.
Oh.
I am a man of integrity. I am a man who is trying not to lose his shit. Because the other two members of this podcast have clearly had their shit lost. And didn't even have the diapers to cradle it into their bosom with. But anyway, so Black Balor kicked real naturally.
Stop! My ribs hurt.
Okay, hold on. We need a second. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Trying to regain their composure. This is all being kept, by the way.
Yeah.
You're just watching this, Elfberg. Just keep all this.
Anyways.
Let me know when you guys have regained your composure.
Oh no, we're not going to regain our composure. We're just going to make more jokes about this match. The crowd chanted for tables, and Finn Balor decided to give it to him, and Roman Reigns was being the heel, saying like, "No, you get no tables."
Let me tell you something. This is where I started getting really upset at Columbus. Right here.
What?
Because the tables were more over than any wrestler on the card tonight.
Yep, absolutely. They were chanting for tables in the tag team matches.
If that doesn't tell you how bad things have gotten in WWE, the props used to have people put through are more important than the people being put through them.
Yeah.
Well, you can blame one certain walrus in a suit standing behind Roman Reigns for that.
Well, there's many people you can blame for that. It's not. I wouldn't say it's exclusively Paul Heyman's fault. And so Ahmed Balor delivers some nasty kicks, some really nasty kicks, and the stiffness of the actual wrestling in this was fine. You know, then I get bored, and this is when it happens. And the last time I can recall this was another Roman Reigns match. It was the "you put dog food on me" match against Baron Corbin. This meant they go to the kickoff show desk, which they do the quick jump on, then they do the table spot there. And I like the fact that Reigns asked for a mask because
that was hilarious. That made me laugh.
And Pat McAfee saying he doesn't want to breathe in the fumes by the Columbus, Ohio crowd.
That made me laugh.
Yep, I loved that.
Roman is the best.
Here is the formula for every Extreme Rules, no disqualification, falls count anywhere street fight that these guys ever have. When they start to go out of the ring, it's spot, hold the head / hair, walk to next spot,
throw them into the steel set, move next spot. Which, by the way, yes, we get to the steel set spot. Actually, we got 2 of them.
No fighting, no like sign of a struggle back and forth. It's just, all right, we're just walking over here. Let me just take you by the hair, even though you're like way taller than I am.
But again, there were moments where they were doing that dumb stuff, and then there were moments that they were just winning me back. That drive-by by Roman onto Finn Balor into the steel post, that was great.
Yeah, all of the wrestling that they did was fine.
I was really hoping when they got up to the pre-show area, I was really hoping Roman would put Tyrone Balor through the glass. That would have been awesome.
Who's Tyrone Balor?
He was the person Roman was wrestling.
Yeah, haven't you been paying attention, Sky?
Okay, Joshua, that joke doesn't make sense.
Don't make me explain it. Don't make me explain it.
Well, anyway.
Clearly, this is just Omos's little brother.
That's...
Wait, hold on. The Demon Finn Balor is the love child of AJ Styles and Omos.
Well, Lil Balor, not as many people were clapping as Kevin's Dunn's noises definitely tried to cover. And then, of course, Roman Reigns does the table spot, and the table gets a break. The table spot gets a pop instead of Roman Reigns getting booed. It was more happy that the table got broken rather than being upset that Roman Reigns put their baby face through it.
Bill's Mafia.
Yep. Finn's punches suck. Roman Reigns' low blow face was fantastic. Did really like that.
Yeah.
Then, who wants to talk about it?
I'll run through it. Okay, so...
Well, first there was the barricade in the table spot, our mandatory pay-per-view barricade in announce table spot. Can't be...
No. Sean, you are not doing a good job of doing this, okay? And Joshua, let me, okay? Please,
all right.
Let me.
I just wanted to say Quintarius Balor, but continue.
Okay, then. Roman and Finn do the finishing sequence, and there's this part where Roman goes for the spear. Finn Balor starts reversing it, starts getting a bunch of momentum, and then here comes the Usos. And I started groaning because I'm like, of course you're going to have the Usos do this. So the Usos interfere, and they start attacking Finn Balor, and they do the mandatory table spot, which, again, mandatory table spot. At least they saved it for the main event. I'm happy they saved it for the main event. But still, it is stupid that they had to have the Usos come out and interfere in Roman Reigns matches because they always do that. And then after the announced table spot, here comes the barricade spot by Roman, which admittedly is very cool. And then
not every time we see it.
They do it too much.
But it's cool most of the time. And then all 4 men are lying face down on the ground, not moving. And then the lights go out, and you hear heartbeats, and you hear this flashing red. This flashing red starts moving Finn Balor's body.
He starts fucking the ground. He starts humping the ground.
And Finn Balor is flopping like a fish. And then, eventually, Finn Balor revives himself, and I hate WWE for this. Because they do this thing where Finn Balor destroys Roman Reigns in the red light to his music. Although I will admit that, Joshua, did you enjoy the return of the red lights?
I wanted to put a gun in my mouth.
And I wanted to do it too. They have smoke come out through one of the corners of the ring, and Finn Balor, for the briefest minute, looked like he was going to win. And I thought, this is a great swerve. They swerved us all.
How could you see that?
I disagree wholeheartedly.
How could you see it? The smoke was too thick.
Well, yes, the smoke was bad, okay? But here's the thing. They had me because I thought Finn was actually going to do it. And then he gets on the top rope to do the coup de grace to his theme music in the red light among the smoke, and the ring breaks. The top rope breaks.
Bad.
For no reason, and allows Roman Reigns to spear Finn Balor and win the match.
Awful. Dog shit.
We had a rope break in an Extreme Rules match.
We had a literal rope break.
No, we didn't.
No. Was that Finn Balor on the top rope, or was it Chris Jericho?
But it is you, sir, who are not telling this accurately. And I shall be the one to bring Savior to the end of this matchup, because what actually happened here was not a rope break. I've seen a rope break in a matchup on purpose, or not on purpose, but just as a happenstance, which is what they tried to make this out to be. If you want to look it up, there used to be a hidden gem on the network. Who knows where it is now? But a matchup in 90 or 91 between the Hart Foundation and the Rockers, where the Rockers win the World Tag Team Championships from the Hart Foundation, because it was a best-of-3 falls match. That is the only known Tag Team Championship the Rockers have won, but they re-recorded it because the actual turnbuckle broke. So that whole title match was stricken from the record, so the Rockers never got that championship, technically added to WWE's annals. That was where the ropes actually snapped and the whole thing just came apart, not from the corner there, where it actually, the whole turnbuckle with that line came off, and the whole thing you could actually have detached. That is not what happened here. What happened here is those cute little podiums that they put up instead of actual posts to cover up that have those nice little trons. They had a mechanism attached to them that was very clearly motorized, because it sounded like a roller coaster starting, and the second that they replayed it, it went kukumph. It was obviously, clearly designed to do that. And if you noticed, none of the other turnbuckles had them except that one, which had just that amount of rotation for just that amount of seconds, that was put in there deliberately to make this look like an accident, but it was no accident. It was a stupid gimmick. Who gets the heat out of this? Roman Reigns has no business getting caught up in dumb shit like this. It was a garbage finish that was set up, and it was pure WWE entertainment dreck. There was no contrivance to this. It was bullshit from the start, and they replayed it so they made sure that everybody could see that that was a clearly motorized break.
And to make it worse, Finn Balor looked like he actually legitimately hurt his knee on that. It was a very dangerous spot where Finn Balor could have broken something in his legs because they decided to do a gimmick match to protect the Demon. This is the worst part. In their twisted psyche, they think that this finish protects the Demon gimmick. No, it ruins it. It ruins the mystique of the Fiend. Sorry, not the Fiend, the Demon. It's the same thing at this point.
To be fair, Skyler, may I have a second, please? Okay.
Sure.
Not even gonna lie, I did not give a single crap about this match because they already spoiled that Roman was gonna win when they announced that he was gonna be facing Brock Lesnar at the Saudi Arabia Blood Money show that I highly doubt that I'm even gonna watch because screw this company.
Same.
Honestly, the match was eh. It was the most extreme this show's gotten because, kendo sticks! Because we don't see kendo sticks in every other fucking no DQ match this company ever produces. So, we're doing the match, it's whatever, the Usos come out, I groan, I decide, I might as well go and pee now because I already know what's going to happen. Then he spears him through the barricade because we haven't already seen that 1 trillion times this year. And then, Finn Balor on the ground, heartbeat, the light flickers, he starts looking for a glory hole in the ground. Or, it's like when he's like an ambulance, paramedics are next to him, and they're like, clear! Dunk, clear! Dunk! That was where I was like, alright, I've had enough of this show. He gets up because his music invigorates him, because he's a powerful, mystical demon. Why do they do this to every somewhat spooky gimmick that they have? It ruined The Fiend. It made Alexa Bliss completely unwatchable for the past year. And now they're doing it with The Fiend. I was like, of course. And we, of course, had the return of the red light, which was brilliant. I could barely tell what was going on. And that was before they had smoke coming so far into the screen. I was like, wow, am I wearing 3D? There's smoke in my house right now. And then the coup de grace on this, ironically enough, the sundae on top of the strawberry on top of this shit sandwich. They had the stupid mechanism, break the top rope. Finn Balor falls right on his stupid face, eats a spear, and it's over. What? I honestly consider just deleting Peacock off of my PS4 after this match was over. And I didn't even give a crap about this match from the outset because they already spoiled who was going to win. It was like, I already didn't care, and they were like, well, we're going to give you this finish was them flipping me off because it was everything I hate about this company rolled up into one bag.
Yeah.
The creepy, weird voodoo garbage that they do is the worst. I hate it more than I hate their women's division. It is the worst. It was god-awful whenever they made Bray Wyatt do it. Remember the projectile, or the projectile, whatever, the projection worms and freaking maggots on the ring with Bray Wyatt. The freaking House of Horrors match. The weird, what was hologram of Bray Wyatt in that Hell in a Cell match with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. A lot of stuff they did with The Undertaker.
The TV exploding in front of Dean Ambrose's face versus Bray Wyatt.
That wasn't voodoo. That was just stupid. That was the voodoo stuff. I hate it.
Both.
WWE, enough with the voodoo crap. Because why didn't Finn Balor just do his voodoo demon magic throughout the entire match?
They're trying to recreate The Undertaker, and they can't do it.
I hate it so
Finn
much.
Balor is not the guy.
I hate it so
don't get
much.
Me wrong. It's nothing against Finn Balor, although you guys have both known my opinions of Finn Balor for some time. But it's nothing against him, but he is not that guy.
I hated this show. I hated this show.
This was next level stupid. This was next, and Roman Reigns has no business getting caught up in dumb shit.
Agreed.
Like
this. Why?
He's the best thing on this show.
This is. I can imagine Big E being involved with a match like this, not Roman.
Yeah.
This company that has had such a freaking boner for Roman Reigns for the past half decade, they even put him in dumb shit like this. What does that tell you when the guy they love the most, they put into dumb situations like this?
It tells me Vince is trying to tank this company for market value when he sells it. I don't think he cares if AEW beats the WWE in the ratings, because I don't think he's going to be in this much longer. That's my opinion on this. This show was straight up bad. This is their response to All Out.
Oh, I know. All Out.
This is the response.
Was great. You would and then me and Sean overrule Skyler. Okay, All Out was great.
It was better than this.
It was better than this. Skyler, I swear to God, I will actually move to California and just do weird. I will do weird things to you that you will not notice. Like, I will, like, teabag your... I will teabag your coffee. I will fart next to your fan whenever you go to sleep. I'll do subtle things that you'll be like, why is there a fart smell in my room? If you say that this pay-per-view was on par with All Out, I swear to God.
You couldn't afford the rent here, bro.
I didn't say live here. I said I would move there just to fuck with you for a couple days, then come back.
Well, here's the deal. I guess now's a good time to talk about the whole show as a whole. Why don't we start with Skyler, and then we will move on to the sane and rational opinions on the show. I tease. Go ahead.
Let me be clear, okay? Just because I like the show more than both of you does not mean that I also did hate it, okay? Let's be clear about that. This show was stupid. A lot of it was stupid. I just happen to find more positives in it than you guys. For AEW and WWE annoy me for different reasons, but they both end up kind of getting the same product. This show is a 4 out of 10. I'm just going to 4 out of 10 this. It's the same show. It's the same number I gave All Out. It's a fair number. I don't think... It was bad, but it's not the worst I've seen, which it's kind of disappointing considering that top rope break would normally make me so angry. The last few years, I've seen so much stupid shit from WWE, it doesn't make me.
Yeah, I understand that. How about you, JoshAgeddon?
Okay, two things. One, since you gave this show and All Out the same grade, when I die, I'm gonna haunt you, and my ghost is gonna be naked and erect. Just saying. Two.
Joshua, hold on. Just because you have a massive hate boner for WWE doesn't mean that AEW is better. And just because I have a massive hate boner for AEW doesn't mean that it's better than WWE. They're both at the same level currently. It's just that one company seems to do things for the fans more than the other one does.
I'm still gonna wave my ghostly. I'm still gonna wave my ghostly cock over your face while I'm asleep. While you're asleep. Two.
All 2 inches.
And his ghost is going to teabag your coffee.
Yes.
His ghost is going to fart at a fan when you're sleeping, and you'll say, you wake up and be like, why do I taste fart?
So there's that.
All 3 inches of your ghostly dick.
6.5. So,
Is that your rating for this show, JoshAgeddon?
No, this show sucked up and down. It was boring. It did not deserve the name Extreme Rules. And the main event finish was a middle finger to me. I'm not even joking. I'm giving this show a 1 out of 10.
Wow.
I hated this show.
I'm not going to lie. I honestly didn't think that I would be in this position once again to where I'm splitting the difference between you two. I can't rank it higher than a 4. Obviously, I mean, this was just a bad show. There was one decent match, and even that was a bad finish. And say what you want right now, just context of the quality of wrestling aside. If you're talking about how perception of these shows is going and how people feel after these matches, right now, whether you love them or hate them, AEW has got all the momentum in the world. And this rate, if this is their response to AEW gaining momentum, AEW is going to have the upper hand. And how the hell is Eric Bischoff going to have a career if somehow Tony Khan beats Raw for 84 consecutive weeks? Eric Bischoff's going to have nothing to do. He's going to have nothing to talk about. Nobody's going to care about him anymore. How is he going to be able to use that big green egg and fly fish in Minnesota? I have no idea. This show gets a 2 for me. I hated it. There was one good match. It was a women's match, so I can get some self-pats on the back for that. Other than that, this show sucks.
Sean, quit.
To answer your question, Sean, Eric Bischoff has appeared on that show getting paychecks. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, but not regularly. Not really. He appeared once or twice.
I think you said it best, Sean. I think you said it best, Sean. AEW has all the momentum right now, and WWE responded with this.
Yeah.
Just, wow.
Chris Jericho is so fat, when he stepped on the sidewalk, he broke the top rope.
Chris Jericho
is so fat, I could walk around him in the time that it took to watch this pay-per-view.
Chris Jericho's so fat that he took a shit, and the shit looked like this show, and then he died.
Chris Jericho is so fat. That's our show, ladies
and gentlemen. Well, but God, this has been absolute mayhem and a half, as it always is. Let's start. Skyler, thank you very much for being on this show, and here's to next week, where we're going to have another good set of shows, maybe even a match of the week for a change.
Perhaps. I will say this, though. Folks, I will be leaving for a little bit, going to the home country of one Santino Marella or Anthony Sorelli, whatever you want to use as his name. I'll be traveling to Italy, and I'll be looking for the finest wines, the finest food, and the finest Italian wrestlers. So please let me know what you can give me, and I'll do what I can. And thank you for having me both, and I'll see you guys when I come back from my adventure with many a tale to tell.
Well, we're looking forward to rushing through them to get to the wrestling news where you belong. I'm kidding, Scott. Have a great time.
That was too soon.
Have a great time, man. You're going to have a great time, I'm sure. That's a hell of a trip. So enjoy yourself and have a relaxing time. We will see you when you get back. JoshAgeddon, before you close your show, I'll close my show. But thank you for being a part of the Court Martial podcast here on this simulcast, as it's time to take our first commercial break.
We will not die peacefully.
No, well, not at the rate that Extreme Rules is going, but our words are more extreme than what we saw. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. We will be right back right after this.
Thank you, everyone, to listen to this. Just this show, it was just pure ADHD and just rage, sadness. I need to book a new therapy appointment, so I gotta go. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
You know what's better, Sky, and you know what's better, Joshua, both of you? You know what's better than that? You should watch quality programming, a card that took years and years to build. You should watch something that is going to emphatically shake the foundation of this channel to its core. Galactic Throwdown 8, the end of an era. It's coming, baby. You gotta be ready for it, because we're making it happen. Nothing but quality there. Way better than what we saw in this.
Dude, Galactic Throwdown 8 shits all over Extreme Rules. I'm not even fucking joking. Thank you guys so much for watching. Galactic Throwdown 8. Me and Sean are still doing commentary for it as we speak. Not like at this moment, but, you know, we're recording. So it'll be up soon. I don't know when.
Imagine your Extreme Rules review is the commentary for Galactic Throwdown 8.
Yeah, that would be something.
This has just been one long commercial. We're going to be right back with GTA. We're just switching headsets here.
All right, good night, everybody.
Between the opening tag team match to the women's match.
Skyler, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to close the show.
Then close the goddamn show.
Good night, everyone.